Hey Bible friends, Austin here. Thanks so much for joining me again. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I had a great Thanksgiving. It was such a blessing to be with family. My wife made some wonderful food and I totally overdone it. So, all right, today's gonna be a little bit different. I don't have a Bible to review. I mean, I do have Bibles to review, but I'm not reviewing a Bible today. I have a bunch of markers and pens and such here that I want to show you my favorite tools that I use in my journaling Bible. But before we do that, if you are new here and you have not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button and also hit that like button. And if you already have subscribed, thank you so much for helping the Bible Stack grow. All right, let's mark up a Bible. The first I want to show you is the Frixion pens, and these are also Frixion pens here. They're just a different style. I'll show you the difference in a minute, but these are so amazing. These are gel ink roller pens, but they're erasable. That's right, I said they're erasable. And I just think they're great. So I make mistakes. My handwriting's poor and I make mistakes all the time. So I just can't recommend these enough. And I'll go ahead and get a couple of these out. Let's go with pink. And we'll go with this green. Got to do blue. We'll go with purple. And these are clickable. So the little pocket clip is what's clickable, or does the clicking part. I guess I should have said these are retractable, and that's what does it there. And I'm always wanting to press on that, but that's the eraser. And the ink in these is thermal sensitive or something like that. So when you rub this rubber tip on, I guess that's a rubber tip, but when you rub that on the ink, it creates heat and makes the ink disappear. You're going to be surprised. It's like magic. And then the other ones, these are also Frixion pens here, and they're just they have a cap on them, but there's no no clip on it, but same kind of tip on it for erasing. So let me demonstrate those. I'll get my test Bible here. This is a Bible that I kind of use to mark up. Not that I don't like it, just I use it in the back here to test markers and such like that. We'll go with this. We'll start off with this purple here. And if we go to the other side, these don't bleed through either. I guess if you just kept holding it down and marking and marking and marking, it would. This is really thin paper. This is probably the thinnest paper I have on any of my Bibles. And that's why I'll use this one as a test, because I'm like, if it doesn't bleed through on this, then it's not going to bleed through on the others. Which I don't write in Bibles. If you watch my the Holman journaling or note-taking Bible video I made, I talk about that in there. That it's really hard for me to write in Bibles. But you can see there, you can see the ghosting a little bit, but it didn't bleed through. And I'll show you the erasing. Sorry if that camera's bouncing. That erases completely. I mean, you can erase it completely. Now, where this is really thin paper, it's kind of creating little ripples in the paper. So if you have really thin paper Bible and you're going to write in it, then just be aware of that. But you can see there that it's, I mean, I guess I could have done a little better there, but you can erase it completely. Yep. All right, I'll mark up with some other colors. We got underline money. And then I'll go with these other ones that have the cap on them. You can see these have really good ink, great colors. I mean, the colors are very, very nice. And then you can take either, the eraser doesn't matter, it works for all of them. I guess on this thin paper, you'd probably have to be careful to not rub it too much. It might tear a hole in this really thin paper. Okay, that's the Frixion. These are made by Pilot, and my favorite. Okay, I'll get those out of the way, and I will move over to the Crayola Twistables, or yeah, Twistable Crayola. I'm not sure. Here, let's look. Yeah, Crayola Twistables. These are a crayon, and let me get a color. I'll go to the. I started doing some work in the front of this, and my goal was to. I was just going to like highlight every verse in the Bible, but I use these Twistables to do this, and it does a wonderful job, and there's no bleed through whatsoever. You can't even see the, let me see if I can get to the next page here. So you can't even see the ghosting from here. Now these take a little bit more work to highlight something. So like, oh, let me use this other color. I think this is the color I was using. Yeah. It takes a little bit more work to use these than it would a regular highlighter. But with this, you don't have to worry about any bleed through or anything like that. You can see that there, and then kind of like with, just a regular crayon, if you wanted, you can take a tissue or a paper towel and then kind of just smooth that out and make it more consistent across each letter. All right. I guess I'll show you I guess we can do I'll go to the back and do an orange. Do a highlight in orange. I see that orange is going on really easy. And these are nice and smooth. You don't have any kind of ink buildup or anything like that. I don't even see any ghosting from that. All right, last but not least is Mr. Pen. And these come in a really neat little container, like a little mountain scene. I'm about 50% on these. I got a love-hate relationship with them, and I'll show you why. Let me open those up. I'll get one out. Some of these, so I was looking for a blue one. Some of these, when they go on, they kind of create a film over the text. Let me see if I can demonstrate that. Yeah, see, this is one of the ones that I don't know if the camera is going to pick up that the way I see it, but it almost turns the black text. Makes it look like it's got a gray film over it. Now, not all of those colors do that. So, I mean, if you're okay with that, then you might like these, because these are some kind of gel based. They're nice, but except for that, I don't like what it does there. We'll do self-esteem. Now this green, it doesn't create that discoloring of the text. It does a really nice job. So there's probably, I would say probably a third of these in the container that do a really good job, and then the other 2/3, they create this kind of looks like there's a little film over that. Now these do create a little bit slight texture. So I don't know, maybe if you took a paper towel or a tissue, you could probably, yeah, you can smooth that out a little bit. But those are the Mr. Pen gel highlighters, and these go on really easy. And if you can press, lightly or extremely hard on it to make it go on even thicker. Oh, let me see. That one there's pretty thick. So we'll flip over to the previous, yeah. So there's no bleed through on that. These are nice too, except for the some colors. Now, if you do put it on really thick, it does say like there's a really strong texture on that now. Let me get that tissue and see if, or that paper towel, and see if that can be smoothed out. Yeah, you can see some of that came off. So I guess it is possible that that could, here, let's do a test. I guess it could bleed or get on the other page. I'll do another one. So if you put that on kind of thick, what happens if we turn the page and then, I don't know, is that, I guess it didn't. That's that mark there. That mark there is from the highlight, a previous test I had done. I'll do it again. We'll go down here and highlight stealing and prohibited. Stealing is prohibited. Yeah, you know, I see it. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but I do see ever so slightly right there. It's really, really faint, but I do see it. So I guess that might be something that you would need to let that dry, I guess. But you can see I just went like that and it smeared it. So anyway, that's something to be aware of with the Mr. Pen. I just want to show them to you. I don't use them. I use the Twistables Crayola, and then I use the pens that I showed you here, the Frixion pens. All right, my final thoughts. I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. I'm going to put links in the description for the Frixion pens and the Twistable crayons and the Mr. Pens highlighters. So if y'all want to pick those up, you can. My next video, I'm going to be reviewing the NLT Illustrated Study Bible. So stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, y'all take care. I'm praying for you. Read your Bibles, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.